Good afternoon. I guess the purpose of this video is to talk a little bit about the work that no one gets to see, the invisible work that happens. And it can be invisible because of they're in restricted areas. It can be invisible because of transformation sometimes is. For instance, I had a show last week open, or 2 weeks ago now open, that I've been working on with a bunch of guys who had just left prison for about 18 months to 2 years, maybe 20 odd months. And, you know, the show itself, it was called Something Inside, and it featured different scenes sort of stitched together as performance art pieces, sketches. I first started working with the guys on a co-creation project. Didn't know where it would go, and I also had this solo show happening at the time, which involved a lot of restricted documents, legal documents, forensic psychologist reports, social services, prison letters, pre-sentence reports, all of these materials that the men themselves, they've all got their rap sheets, you know what I mean? So it was a language they understood, and I was very surprised the week after when I went to visit them in the probation office and sit around a table and drink tea and eat biscuits, that they said they wanted to do a performance art piece. So we did. It turned out to be a play. We did it in a 500-seat auditorium, you know, big, massive red velvet curtain. Invited all of like the sort of top kind of players in that sector. And it was amazing. Like, it was amazing. It was incredible. I can't believe the level and the commitment that was shown. Some of these guys have got quite complex lives, you know. So in the process of that, there were some of the men, they stood up, they said they wanted to have a role. There was about 6 proper roles in it. It included like different inmates going through the system, from being sentenced to the prison system itself, to hostels, to homelessness, and then to the group work with me, where we were working together. So we ended live as if we were in a group workshop, which is where the work was conceived. So it was kind of this like looping, right? One of the guys got up, read a poem that he wrote in prison. Amazing, so confident, amazing. One of the guys at the end in this group work scene, where we're all sat around a table introducing ourselves as we would in a real group work scene, said, "When I came to the group work sessions, I thought my life was over. I didn't think I could go on. But coming here and meeting people, I realized that life does go on." He said it very calmly, very articulately, very eloquently. And that small gesture was not to diminish anybody else's contributions, but that small gesture was, you know, for someone that knows the context of what's been going on in these people's lives a bit, that was massive. Another reason why the work that I do is invisible is because it's done in volatile places. It's done in places where the men are there for quite serious reasons. So one of the projects I've just started is a project called Drawing Connections, and it's with another artist. It's with another 3 artists, and my section was working with the men. And you don't get to see these things, even though they're really strictly monitored. No one fucking sees them, right? That's great. You know, as long as the men get something out of it, that's fine. Like, it's not great, but it's fine. Get me? So people often ask me what I'd get up to in my studio. People often ask me what I get up to in these prisons. One of the first things I did that was kind of creative while I was in prison, and I was waiting to be sentenced. I was waiting 6 months to be sentenced. I was in prison without knowing what was going to happen. And I was 19. And I wrote something down because I was compelled to, because I was sick. I was sick and sick. I was so sick of the person who I was. I was so sick of fucking living that way. Because I was still, like, you know, active within the casual economies that exist inside our prison systems, shall we say, allegedly. Anyway, something that I do a lot of, and some might know this, is my poetry practice too. Anyway, this video's gone a bit longer than I hoped, and I just wanted to say, if you would like to read some reflections of my time spent on the dangerous and severe personality disorder unit at HMP Whitemoor Prison, you can, if you have a look at the link in my bio. If you want to know a bit more about some of the projects I do, you can always DM me There's some things I might be able to show you where there are faces obscured and whatnot. And if you did want to get involved, holler at your boy.